did. Who did?
Hey.
Look at our poinsettia.
Much comfier here, too.
We're in a garden.
Festive.
Poinsettia.
How did we finally get them to move us?
I think Paul.
About it yesterday.
I had to break
you
a
know
few
what.
thumbs, but we got it figured out. We're back on the couch. Isn't this lovely? You can kind of sit back.
Yeah.
What was the initial objection? The lighting?
That the light comes in through that window, but it's
it
so
doesn't.
dark right now, it doesn't really come in.
Good.
I love it with our festive decoration.
I just
Oh
like
my
being
gosh,
able
so
to
much
sit,
better. Just
like,
be comfortable.
relax.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm
Have a
feeling
pillow
super
fight if we
comfortable.
want.
I forgot how to sit in this couch appropriately.
You can't sit back.
Yeah. Can
You're
you
right.
lean
That's the
forward,
key.
Paul?
You got it. There you go.
There you go.
This is my natural posture.
You look very comfortable.
You're excited about today's topic?
Wait, why?
Because it's.
No.
Ooh, I don't know too much
I need you to
about
do
it.
it. I need you to do it.
I can't.
No, you're not going to do it.
Wait, I thought you said you were going to.
We'll save it. We don't want to scare the
Working
people
on
away
it.
immediately. For those of you who have never watched our show before, Vanessa is really known for one thing in the Valley, and it's her tremendous Chewbacca impression.
Yes.
Suvita is great. The Diamondbacks are fantastic. The traffic she does for 12 is wonderful. Her outreach in the community is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but it's the Chewbacca impression that keeps her around.
I want an Emmy for it.
You went too far. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll hear it, because we're talking about Star Wars today. The topic primarily is, do you think, oh man, I don't think we can run this trailer, guys. We should probably take that down. We're going to get in trouble for that, I
Then
think.
they're going to kill us.
Yeah, I think that's illegal. I think we're breaking rules. Not sure. Anyway, let's talk about Star Wars regardless. So do you think Disney has overdone it? So you may recall that Disney purchased the rights to the Star Wars franchise from Lucasfilm in 2012. They paid a little over $4 billion for it. And as of 2018, they're already in the black. They've recouped more than $4 billion in Star Wars sales. And they've got the new movie coming out tonight, nationwide in theaters. What is it, The Rise of Skywalker, the new Star Wars film? Let's start there. Are you guys going to check out the new movie, or are you going to see it? Be honest with me.
Yes, I do want to see it, but not right at the get-go, because, I mean, the crowds and I'm okay with waiting a week or two.
Yeah.
And if it does have to wait for Redbox, I'd be cool. But I want to see it, but I might not be the first one in line, yeah.
Vanessa?
I will go watch
don't
it
lie.
if someone invites me and they're like, hey, do you want to go see this?
You want to go see Star Wars
Vanessa,
tomorrow?
you want to go see it?
Yeah.
Not the first night, because like you said, it's going to be crazy packed. You're going to have, there's going to be jammed in there.
We're going to be at work
Elbow
tomorrow
room.
morning, so,
Yeah.
or you don't.
I don't. I have tomorrow.
You lucky dog, you.
I'm jelly.
I'm
What
so
about you?
excited.
You're going.
Oh, I'm totally going. I
Or
have
are you
6
going, or are you
tickets.
sticking the boys? Because I know that the boys want to go,
Yeah,
and you were on the
Wayne
fence.
is super into it, and we were gonna invite friends, but a lot of people are leaving right after school tomorrow. So we have our 6 tickets. So I think I am gonna go. But the thing is, like, I don't do lines. Period. End of story. So I do. Well, nowadays you get reserved seats.
Yeah. So
So
now
why
you're
would
right.
you ever? The people that are camped out, I'm like, that literally makes no sense. You can reserve your seat. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to have a glass of Pito.
You're in a fancier
Gonna
theater
eat.
than I am.
It's not. It's an
But
AMC.
a lot of them are doing it now.
Yeah.
Even
They've all redone a
Yeah.
lot. Many of them. I can't remember the last time I went to a theater that didn't have reserved seats.
Hey, the producers say the video's fine. So run the trailer, baby. Let's look at some Star Wars. I just want to be safe and sorry, because we've had to pull down shows before because we used stuff we weren't supposed to. I'm just a little gun shy. Look at this. There's droids, there's lasers, spaceships. What's not to love?
They resurrected Leia.
Yeah. So Carrie Fisher died, more than a year ago, right? And she's in this movie. She's an integral
I think
part of the
that's so
plot.
amazing.
It is amazing. But also it raises some uncomfortable questions about CGI technology and whether or not it's okay to, like, resurrect deceased actors and actresses and
I
make
think
money off of
her
them.
family's okay with it, which is, I'm sure they were
Oh,
consulted.
yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And then I'm sure they get a piece of the pie, which doesn't help
yes,
either.
I'm sure they also get
Doesn't
that.
hurt, right?
So
I'm
Brian
good with
weighs
it.
in to say that Rogue One was pretty good, even though Disney
Yeah.
is milking it a little too much. Heather says the same thing. It's too much. There are 25 movies now by our count this morning.
Amazing.
That's more than James Bond, and James Bond has a lot of movies in that franchise.
What did Ryan say? The first one came out in the 1970s?
Yeah, 72, 74, early 70s, somewhere in there. 77,
Wow,
maybe.
I think
something like that,
77, yeah. I think it was later. I always loved the first 3, the real first 3. I'm talking about chronologically, not the whole, like,
Episodes 4,
prequeling
5, and
thing.
6.
Yes, I just call
A
them
New
the
Hope,
3.
Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Yes, those are the favorite. I have great memories. My dad and I watched those a million times, so they have a soft space in my heart. I love that the effects were so basic, and you can literally see the strings on like.
The campiness is kind of part of the allure, though.
And then I'm always, you know, a Han Solo, Han in his 30s.
As she strokes the necklace, she's like, I
man.
really like Han Solo.
He's so hot. I feel like that was Harrison Ford's like most handsome years. I mean, he's not a bad looking guy now.
No, he's holding up all right.
Aged very well. But the Han, Leia thing, and I was just like super in the bikini. I just loved it all.
Bikini.
That's my favorite thing. The other ones are fine. They're fun. But Paul and I were talking about, because we're like, we know that Rotten Tomatoes is going to slam them. They probably get some enjoyment out of that.
Yeah, the reviews are coming out and they're not great so
I mean,
far.
it's not Oscar award winning blah blah for
It's not gonna be Best
acting
Picture.
or screenplay, but it is what it is. And people who are fans are always going to be fans, and the people who are not going to be fans are not going to see it. But guess what? Nobody's crying for Disney. Everybody wins in this one.
Right. So like we talk.
Anything Disney touches, just
Exactly. I mean,
turns to
this was
gold.
a guaranteed. It will not be the last one either. It's guaranteed to make money.
We were talking this morning about how Solo, the last Star Wars movie that came out, was a flop, quote unquote. They pulled in like more than $300 million in the box office.
I'll take that kind of flop.
So like a flop, maybe you didn't make $1 billion off of it, but it's hard to say that it's a flop when it makes $300 million. That saga itself, by the way, there's the core trilogy, the prequels, and then the sequel trilogy, which we're just wrapping up here, the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
That's 9 movies, and then there's 2 other installments. There's Rogue One and then Solo, which are still sort of tangentially a part of that same storyline.
Right.
And that doesn't even count like the spin-offs, the animated series, the non-canon extended universe. Like there was just a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Wow.
Plus, and we didn't even mention this on the show this morning, 2 new theme parks. If you want to talk about oversaturation, plus The Mandalorian, which is all anyone talks about on Netflix now.
Baby
Wait till the Baby Yoda stuff shows up in May next year.
That's already in my Amazon cart for the pre-order.
Just waiting.
I haven't bitten the bullet yet, but I'm like, do they want to do? I really want it, and they have the pop.
Will it matter then? That's the question.
Well,
Does anyone care about Baby Yoda 5 months from now?
They will, because my son is already talking about planning his May 4th to watch all of it in marathon. He's like, even if it's a school day, can I still do it? So I'm like, I'm feeling like he's still going to want
Is
the
May
Baby
4th
Yoda.
a school day? I got to look it up now.
Is it?
God.
May the
I know.
4th be with you.
right before
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it's a Monday, I think.
Is it?
Because I remember all of our
Oh, because
holidays.
Cinco de Mayo's on Taco Tuesday.
It's on Taco Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. This is a good year this year.
Yeah.
What a
I
year.
need to
There's
post
a bunch
that
of holidays
Yeah,
are on Fridays.
they're on
or
weekends, and then Taco Tuesday is very fitting for
But May 4th is on a Monday.
Yeah,
huh?
Monday.
Guess he's missing the whole week of school. It's going to take that long to watch 25
I think we're going to
movies.
start maybe over the weekend.
There you
and
go.
then
That's a
maybe
good
we
call.
finish
That's a good
at
idea.
midnight on the 4th.
That's a good idea.
Priscilla, who's one of the top fans of the show, jumping into the conversation. Thanks for joining us every day, Priscilla. We appreciate that. She says, I love that there are great female characters for my girls to look up to. Leia was the reason I fell in love with Star Wars.
Same here. I was Princess Leia for my birthday party. I must have been like 6 or 8. I feel like I was pretty young. I was still an only child. My sister hadn't been born yet, so I was probably 6. Those were the good old years, as I like to say. Rocking the yarn for the little buns. I love, and my boyfriend at the time came as Han Solo.
Wait, when you were 6?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was a neighborhood boy. I've been boy crazy
One of those
since I
neighborhood
came out.
boys. Yeah.
My second neighborhood boy I dated through college, so it's like I like a neighborhood boy.
Oh, girl.
That's convenient.
Easy, right? Yeah.
Go right across the street.
She doesn't need to go to a galaxy far, far away. There's one right in her own backyard. Little correction here. Deanna caught me on this. Mandalorian's not on Netflix, so it's on Disney Plus.
Disney
Because Disney owns it. That obviously makes intuitive sense. I'm
Yes.
just a dummy, Deanna.
You are
Sorry.
correct.
Steve wants to know if the new film is dedicated to Carrie Fisher.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. They did have a pre-release in Tempe a couple nights ago. Our own Cam Cox
yeah, you
got to
went to
see the
go.
movie like 2 days ago. And they're already, the spoilers are everywhere. Like, if you want to know everything that happens in the movie, it's
read
on the internet
spoilers.
right now. But it's hard to stay away from it because
No.
it's everywhere.
I just scroll past. There's plenty of other stuff on Twitter to read about today.
That's true.
I'm good.
Peggy
holding
says,
off.
I'm not a Star Wars fan, sorry. We took the kids to see the very first one back in the 70s, but I've never seen any of the others. Peggy, I don't blame you. It's not for everybody. It's still sci-fi at the end of the day. I think people hold, especially when something is near and dear to your heart. And we're seeing that with some of the remakes that have been done lately, especially by Disney, is that you lose a lot of the luster when it gets... When you put bells and whistles on it and you shine it up and retell the story in a politically correct 2019 way, it loses a lot of its edge and its character that I think people loved about it the first time.
I agree.
And that's the point you make about the original trilogy, is that it wasn't all glossed up. There was some really crappy acting, some awful visual effects, some nonsensical storytelling in a universe far, far away where anything goes. And so, like, I think especially for a lot of the kids that watch those original movies, it was an escape, and it was this alternate reality where this enormous world could be built. It was limitless. It's the end of the galaxy
But it
and
was
beyond.
cool back then. Like, we thought it was amazing.
Right,
like,
but
groundbreaking
now,
back
like,
then.
it's been done and rehashed and retold and glossed up and changed and CGI this and CGI that, and I think it feels just like a much more, like, produced product now. Like, instead of like the all-natural chicken on your chicken sandwich, this is the processed nugget version. And people don't like it as much. And I don't blame them for that.
Yep.
But I think it's important to remind ourselves at the end of the day that this is still sci-fi nonsense. You put Star Wars up on a pedestal like it's supposed to be some Oscar-caliber
It's
picture.
not- that's not
it's
what it
not.
is.
It's a
Yeah.
sci-fi movie.
And
it's,
you can't go in expecting it to be anything more
Right.
than that. It's just supposed to be fun.
You're supposed to have fun. If you watch the 2-hour and 20-some minute final part of this Skywalker chapter and you're not entertained, then you know what? Then you have beef with Star Wars and Disney.
Deanna said, here I am, 42 years later, waiting again to see a Star Wars film. It's surreal.
It's fun.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's cool. It's like once you're into it, you're just kind of into it, I feel. And like throughout your life, you always dip back into it. That's how I feel about it. You know, being someone who grew up watching the movies. I love
Mindy
going back
said,
to
Baby Yoda is our love. Baby Yoda
The child.
everywhere.
is everything. Best memes. Like, it was just meant for meme world.
It is.
It was. I love that. There's a cute one going around where Baby Yoda's making sad faces, and it's like what your girl looks like when you're not showing her attention.
It's just so darn cute.
I haven't seen The Mandalorian yet. I want to, though. Peggy says the thrill is gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tony says she's in love with Vanessa.
hi.
We are too.
Yeah. How do you feel about CGIing deceased actors, asked John. So this is something, John, we talked about at the very top of the show. And it is kind of a touchy subject because I think that the families, at least, should be reimbursed for the use of the
for
likeness
sure.
of the
Yes.
actor.
They have to approve it, I'm guessing.
In most cases, you would think. Didn't Paul Walker appear in a recent Fast and Furious movie after he
did.
passed?
Yeah.
But I think they. Well, I guess
But
some of it
Carrie
was
Fisher's
CG.
daughter
Some of it
has
was
been
from the original.
pretty supportive.
Yeah.
I know in every interview I've seen, she's always been pretty supportive.
I forget who it was, but somebody's son played a stand-in version of an actor whose face was then CGI mapped over
what
the
was that?
actor.
What was
I know
that?
what you're talking
I
about.
forget who it was, but we're seeing it more and more, and it is something to talk about in 2019. It's almost 2020.
But then,
It's crazy.
remember when they wanted to do a CGI of Prince during
Yes.
the Super Bowl in Minneapolis? And I was like, I just at core feel like Prince would hate that.
He probably would. But
Yeah.
they did it with Tupac at a, what event was it?
That was at Coachella.
They had Tupac
They had a
come on.
Tupac hologram.
Everybody loved it. It was so crazy.
Well, and that raises the question too. Like, at what point should you have consent of the artist? Because you think about, okay, which artist would I like to see holograms of? Generally, the ones taken too young. I would like to see Kurt Cobain. I'd like to see Jimi Hendrix. I'd like to see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse to a different, Biggie to a different audience. The 27 Club, right? Those folks are the ones you want to see. But those are the ones that, if you look at their lives and what they stood for and what they represented, those are the ones that would never want to
would've
appear in a
hated it.
hologram for them. They would hate it.
By and large, I think they would have hated it.
Isn't it crazy, too, how a lot of them have passed away so young? Like, they weren't even at their prime or peak yet. You know what I mean?
Hard living, Vanessa.
Jim says, I like the sci-fi genre, but it comes down to the bottom line. If we stop paying to see it, they're going to stop making it. That's why I think it's going to be interesting to monitor the box office totals for this movie,
gosh, they're
because
gonna
they're
kill it.
expecting a slam dunk. But if it's closer to that solo revenue than it was to the last core installment in the feature,
It's being billed as the last one. So for that reason
But they do
alone,
that all
I
the
think
time.
people
People-
are I think
you know.
people are going to come out of the woodwork for it. It's perfect timing coming out right before Christmas
Yep.
and the holidays. I mean, it's just made for $1 billion mark.
So Brian says it was Paul Walker's brother that was a stand-in for some of the shots. So they did have the family's consent. So maybe I'm overlapping the
Yes,
two
two
stories. We knew
stories,
that Paul
yeah.
Walker appeared. That's how they did it. Thank you, Brian, for that
Oh,
little
Paul Walker.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Handsome man was taken too soon.
Yeah.
Right.
R.I.P.
I'm
Paul
with
Walker.
Heidi here. That she says the newer films are the reason why she even likes Star Wars. I've never
New
seen the
fans.
original ones. The looks
Wow,
I
yeah,
just
shooting
got
daggers at
from
you.
those two over there. Yeah, I've never seen the originals. I only, when it became a thing again in recent years, that's when I started going. I was like, oh, that was great, because I like action movies, and that was fun. And so that I've only seen the newer stuff. So
I
I'm
mean,
with you
I
there.
called the lightsaber a sword.
Star
On
Wars
TV.
sword. A Star Wars sword.
Yeah, I was
A
like,
Star Wars.
I mean, you're not wrong
Yes.
necessarily.
It's a euphemism.
It's a sword in a galaxy far,
Yes.
far away.
yeah.
Try that, Chewbacca, one more time.
No, we'll save it for the end of the
Yeah.
show. We'll play it out. Take a break from this discussion for just a second and get to our ICYMI. In case you missed it on today's
Ooh,
Easy
did
this
we
morning,
get you anyway?
I'm not sure. This is one of our favorite moments.
Found this one, but it is there. So drive with caution, and I'll let you know when it clears up this morning. Paul?
Sounds good, Vanessa. Could I get a quick Chewbacca impression?
Oh, wow.
That didn't work.
Did you throw up?
Oh, my God. Are you okay?
Do you think Disney has overdone Star Wars? If so, why? Shoot us a text, 602-444-1212. We're talking about it this morning as millions of you get ready for the premiere of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker tonight.
We're definitely partial on this one, Crystal, because Paul and I are going totally.
Well, and Vanessa does such a great Chewbacca impression that it's really hard
She's
not
gonna
to
work
see
on
her
it for
love
the
for
next
the films. Yeah.
story.
I mean, it was
Blah.
very impressive.
There goes your breakfast.
That's what it sounded like. Whoa.
Vanessa, you're gonna have to redeem yourself at
Maybe
some
you
point,
guys will
girl.
stop asking me to do it now.
Now your mic's
No,
on.
I'm
Now
asking
you
you
really
more.
gotta do it.
This
No.
will literally be the last time.
It was so awful, you don't want to hear it again.
You were happy that the mic wasn't hot when you did
But
that.
it sounded worse when the mic wasn't on.
The camera wasn't on my face.
Right,
Because,
right.
like,
She was by me when this happened, and I had to wipe tears from my
Oh my
eyes
gosh.
after I was laughing so hard.
What happened? Is it you didn't commit your whole
Yeah.
body
She
to it?
half-assed
I just
it,
was,
yeah.
that's.
I feel like you started strong,
Yeah.
and then halfway through you just
Paul.
gave up. And then it just sounded like you upchucked. Upchucked?
Over the years that I've been here, Vanessa and I have teased each other about a lot of things, but I'm not sure that there's one thing that I love more than calling for the Chewbacca impression.
You do an amazing one. You're the one that should be doing it.
There's no impression to be had here. What are you talking about?
Do it.
No.
Do it.
Why are you putting me on the spot like that?
You're putting her on the spot.
You have to like prep. Like the key
Okay.
is to get. Okay, I can't roll an R, for example.
right.
I don't know how to make my mouth do that. I can't do
Pitbull
it.
in the house.
But the Chewbacca thing is like that, but it's in your throat.
gotta roll.
You have to
I
roll
feel
it
like I
in
feel
here,
like
It's
like that, kind of,
you look like a that was like a dinosaur.
kind of like that.
Remember the dinosaurs? What was the movie where
Jurassic Park.
was it Jurassic Park? I don't know.
What's the movie with the
all
dinosaurs?
the dinosaurs in the park.
I was gonna say The Land Before Time.
Yeah, that.
But that's a cartoon.
Those are cartoon dinosaurs.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay, like
know.
it's like you're a gargle. No, it's like a
I would not
dog.
even attempt it. I feel
I'm
like I might
surprised there are
choke.
any viewers in this show right now. Why haven't you guys left? What are you?
Bud said enough already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Bud's moving
Sorry.
us along.
Priscilla
Either
said
that
a
or-
laser sword. Laser sword. See?
Sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some fresh squeezed juice. We'll return to the Star Wars and more bad impressions shortly, probably.
You want to do it?
I've got the prompter one. Y'all looking around for the prompter one. I got it.
Okay, Merry Christmas from the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. We're getting a sneak peek at what's being called royally different Christmas card from Prince William and Kate Middleton. The Daily Mail tweeting the picture out this morning showing William sitting on a motorcycle while holding Prince Louis. Right, alongside the former Kate Middleton and the couple's two older children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, who is 4. The picture was apparently accidentally tweeted out by a friend of the family, then deleted, but not before the Daily Mail was able to scoop it up.
That friend banned from the palace.
Is that shirt chambray?
Off the nice list.
sure
Let me
hope
see.
Off the Christmas list.
I can't see that far.
I
It
know,
looks
I
like
want to
denim.
see.
Could be denim. Denim and chambray are very similar. One's a little more breathable, but whatever.
Wow. So they just took
Very
like a
specific.
picture that they had taken as a family and used it as their
And
Christmas
somebody
card.
tweeted it out. That's adorable.
Okay, so are we going to rail on Kate Middleton for maybe wearing that dress in another picture? That's one thing I don't
do you
understand.
mean?
Have you heard that lately? Like,
What?
So it's not just Kate, but it's what's her name, the other princess,
Meghan.
Megan. Sorry,
Markle.
my bad.
Rachel's fave.
But they're railing against. I think it's mostly Kate because she's wearing the same outfits more than once, and she's being
No!
photographed in them.
No, okay, so that is an intentional thing that the royals do now because they're showing that they're just
they're-
like us.
Right,
beings.
but they're giving her crap for it, and it's not
But that's
fair because
terrible.
everybody wears clothes more than once. That's the way clothes are supposed to work.
And they do it intentionally to make themselves seem more relatable, and I love that they do that.
However, these days you try not to take a picture in the same outfit. Like I try not. Like when
Why?
I'm posting something, I'll be like, oh, I already have.
What do you
this
rent your
outfit.
clothes? No, you buy them, right?
With our dresses, it's like because people actually notice and they're like, you already wore that last week.
Yo, how many suits do I have?
Nobody notices the guy.
How many suits do I have?
Yeah, remember there was the one news
Give or take.
anchor that wore the same
The one
outfit
news anchor
for
was
a
no
Every
year?
year.
of the guys.
Yeah.
He wore the same suit every year without washing it, and no one said anything.
Literally nobody cared.
But I feel bad. I'm cognizant of it. I never wear the same suit 2 days in a row, ever.
Yeah.
Because that's, but
you
twice in the
change up
same
your
week,
pocket
yes.
Square,
Yeah,
your
and you can hang your
tie.
tie.
There's a lot of possibilities,
Yeah.
sure, but you could say the same thing about necklaces and nails and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but
earrings.
dress.
yeah, women's outfits are very different. But at the end of the day, people just are going to come. Has anybody complained that Prince William wears the same suit to
No.
events?
No.
Literally nobody cares.
What I'm saying is I feel bad for you ladies because that's an unfair standard. It's
is.
not fair. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to wear something different every day or not be photographed in the same dress twice. You should never have to think to yourself, like, wait, am I in a picture in this dress already? That's ridiculous.
I know, but that's
the
how
world
it
we
is.
live in.
Yeah.
Hard knock life, man.
Gosh.
All right, you want
News
to
anchor problems.
impart some
I know,
final
Brian,
wisdom
it's
about Star Wars?
lightsaber.
I know, we're just teasing. I think
we're
Brian's
giving her a
teasing you
hard
too.
time.
Brian's a top fan of the show. He knows some of the inside jokes. That's what happens when you watch a show a lot. It'll actually get better. I know it's like
It
already
seems
like a
strange
2
in
out
the
of 10,
beginning.
but you can get to like a 4 out of 10 if you know all the jokes that we're making. Mm-hmm. I don't think they.
It's a light show. Let me remind people too. This is also a light show. This isn't
Not
hard
news
news.
related.
There's a light show?
Light, yeah, a light show.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
gonna go see lights tonight. now that you
fire.
brought that
Are
up.
you?
Yeah, some of the Christmas lights.
Going to the
I'm
club?
So excited.
Oh, no.
That's after. I'm gonna
That's
go
later.
drink some hot cocoa and watch some Christmas lights and probably hit up the club after.
Heck yeah, congrats on not having to come to work
Yeah,
tomorrow,
I'm
man. I want to call in and go see
excited.
Star
No, I
Wars.
want to be up in the club.
I think.
I do.
First of all, you could hang. You would still go up in the club and then come into work and do just fine.
You guys go to the
Been
club.
done
I'm going to
before
go to the
in my
movie
younger
theater.
years, but I don't mess with it these days.
May the force be with you. Nanu Nanu. Live long and prosper.
Have a fabulous weekend since I won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Feliz Navidad.
We're excited
back
about the
next
week? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll
Let's
be
just
back
talk
on
about our
Tuesday.
schedules.
Okay,
No,
Tuesday.
okay.
All right.
Tuesday.
We're going to say goodbye.
Bye.